Hey folks, Professor K here, and today I'm going to show you a trick that I'm really mad didn't exist when I was an intern. I think I've told you before that I used to think I was going to work in magazines, and I interned at a magazine that was all about fashion. So what happens at these magazines is you get this layout and they're like, okay, you're going to have this text wrap around this subject, and it's going to be like somebody walking down the runway, right? And so what you have to do as an intern is go and manually clip around in InDesign these people who are walking down the runway in order to make the text go around them. Life has gotten simpler since then. We're going to be taking a look at content-aware text wrapping in InDesign. Let's take a look. All right, so in our last video, we left off with learning how to justify text properly. Fabulous. Now it's going to be, how do we use InDesign to create more creative layouts? And like I said, one layout that is really common in the fashion industry is to have text wrap around a subject. So in the link below, you'll see a link to an Unsplash image. I'm just going to download that, and I'm going to place it in InDesign. And the first thing I'm going to do is just decide roughly where I want this to go. Using my rectangle frame tool, I'm going to say I want it to be inside the binding, right? And I want it to go roughly no more than halfway out. I don't want the text to be any less than half the width of this original column. And I'm on my text layer here. You know, it would probably be a little bit better if I was on my graphics and design elements layer. So why don't I switch that and just, you know, do this the right way so that I can see this is a graphics layer. Perfect. Now remember, you can either use Command D for place, but I also like just dragging and dropping right into there. And you'll have to excuse me because I still have my frame tool on. So if you drag and drop onto an existing frame like this, just make sure it's selected first. You'll be able to get that right in there. Now, where did you go? Let's bring it to the front. Is there anything in here? Well, it certainly seems like it. Oh, it's really big though. I wonder, you know what? No, I'm not even going to answer that. I am just going to resize this. So remember, that's going to be under Object, Fitting, and then Fill Frame Proportionally. Keyboard shortcut for that is Piano, or Option, Shift, Command, and C. And then that will get your subject right in there. Oh, much, much better. And I can see that maybe Fill isn't going to work the best for me because it's cutting off her knee here. So I'm just actually going to go back and do Object, Fitting, Fit Content Proportionally. There we go. And I may find that I just need to adjust this frame a little bit to better suit this. So how could I do that? Well, if I click and hold Shift like this, it's going to resize the frame, but not the stuff inside it. If I do Shift and Command at the same time, it's going to resize both the frame and the image inside it. So now I can more naturally kind of get her placed where I want her. Oh, this is much better. Okay, cool. And I have to remember that this is the binding, so some of her hair will be cut off. So what I want is I want this text to wrap around this subject. Now, if you just go to text wrap and you just kind of play around with these, none of these options are going to give you that effect. You might think this isn't possible. I have to go through and use the pen tool to manually put in all these points around this person. That's the old way. That's what I used to have to do as an intern. Horrible, right? That would take forever. We're going to do something different. We're going to do this easier. So under Window and Text Wrap, there's actually a whole panel dedicated to how things wrap text in InDesign. And I'm going to show you the time-saving feature. You're going to use this middle one, wrap around the object. But now under Wrap Options, you can wrap to right side, left side, both sides. And then under Contour Options, this is the magic, you can do Select Subject. And I'm going to click this and then watch, and then you're going to realize why I was so mad this didn't exist when I was an intern. Look at this. Okay, now I just want to zoom in and look at what's happening in the background here. See all these itty bitty pen points? I want you to imagine internship me making each of those little individual pen points by hand, because that's what I used to have to do. You don't have to do that anymore. The tools have come so far just in the past few years. This technique is going to work best with things on a white background or a clearly defined background. You're also going to notice that the text runs right up against the edge of the subject. So let's fix a few things here. To fix the edge, like coming up right against the edge of the subject, we're going to specify an offset. And we're going to increase that. So here it's at 0 point, no offset. We're going to increase that and look at that just getting a little bit bigger. I would say put this roughly around your type size so that there's at least one space about the size of your type around your subject here. And that will feel relatively good. Awesome, looking good. However, we have this kind of like weird little space where some text has managed to get in. This is where the wrap options comes in. This says wrap to both left and right sides. Let's try just the left side. That's getting better. Just the right side, side towards spine, side away from spine, and then here is largest area. That's the one that we want because it's preventing that extra from coming in around the edge of her leg. And now you can see that we've got a lovely, really cool text wrap around our subject. And we can even adjust this a little bit and kind of nudge her around to improve the typography on this. We can make her really big. Oh, like look at all the fun stuff we could do. You could have her go across 2 pages, right? And that would create a really, oh, like look at that larger than life feel you've got there. What a fun idea. So here you could even think about like maybe, like I'm getting excited about these graphics. Under my placeholders, maybe I have a cool infographic here. Imagine if you had like a bunch of really big numbers and then you continued your copy over to the next side. And let's just increase this. Let's put in our 2 columns. And you would need a little bit more copy here. So let's pretend that this has more copy. Much better. And check that out. Just like look at that fun and creative look and feel we've got going. We could even adjust and break the grid a little bit here so that we're not going around her again. And now we have this really cool magazine layout going here. So that's how you can wrap text around a subject. That's how you can get into some more creative styles. And next, I want to take a look at one more way that you can change the relationship between images and text and show you some really fun creative ways in InDesign to really spice up your layouts. I'll see you in just a moment.